What's up, A to Z Sports live on a Wednesday. It's Monday for me, first day of the work week for me after a couple days off. I'm glad to be back with our guy Jack Gentry talking Titans again. Will Levis takes a crew of Titans skill players to Cabo St. Lucas, and Treylon Burks is not one of them. We're going to dive into that situation and why Burks isn't down there with other Titans teammates, but just overall talking about the idea of Will Levis taking his teammates on a retreat. So we'll go into that and talk about a couple guys that may be surprises that made the cut, and then some other guys who are not down there we'll discuss as well. And then, Jack, there's another big name free agent available with the Titans at a position of need. So we'll discuss the potentials of a former Pro Bowler joining the Titans defense. And then it's a Wednesday, which means sports trivia. So we've got Wednesday sports trivia. We've got our rapid round. We have a new time to beat here, Jack. Sam and I smoked the Daily Dozen trivia game last week, but we did have like the easiest celebrity mashup ever created with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's shoulders that are the most recognizable sort of shoulders, I think, on the current planet. So welcome in. Let's get this thing rolling on a Wednesday. Jack, what's up?
Absolutely. Let's get our homework out of the way early. Happy hump day to everybody, by the way. If you're watching on Facebook, I encourage you all to share the show. Don't forget to like the show also on your way in. We've got 100 people in here already. Let's go ahead and drop the thumbs up. It helps us grow. It helps us reach new audience members. And at the end of the day, that's what A to Z wants. And it's going to make the chat better. It's going to make everybody better. So don't forget to like the show on the way in. If you're watching on Facebook, share the show. Sharing is caring. I encourage you all to share it to at least one of your Titans Facebook groups. We want to pull everybody in here that we possibly can. Nobody else is talking Titans on TV right now. And you know what? Everybody's getting ready for work. Everybody's already at work. And I'm sure that killing the first hour of your day or one of the last hours of your day, depending on your shift, is something that y'all would want to do. So go ahead and share the show to your Titans Facebook groups. If you're watching on YouTube, tap that bell icon near the top of your screen and make sure you turn those notifications on. You do not want to miss any updates from the A to Z Sports YouTube channel. It's the dead period right now, but A to Z is still going to have plenty of content rolling out, so don't miss any of it on YouTube. And finally, if you're watching on Twitch, text that Twitch link around to your Titans text groups. If you see a buddy in the office already looking a little tired, maybe he needs a coffee, we'll be his coffee. Text him this link, and and Austin, with that being said, let's get the show on the road.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Jack Gentry, and we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us, and they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai, wilsoncountyhyundai.com, to make them a part of your new car buying process, located in Lebanon. We've got the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. And Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans at fbhp.com/ATOZ to get a quote for your health coverage today. So, Jack, I'm wearing a hat. I don't wear hats on the show, but this is a very special day because I had some pre-scheduled time off on Monday and Tuesday. Did not expect the Tennessee Volunteers, where I went to school and earned my degree doing broadcast journalism, did not expect them to win a national championship in a men's major sport since the first time that I was 8 years old. So I've done a lot of smiling over the last 24 plus hours, and I'm wearing a hat today, Jack, that I have had since I was 8 years old, because this is a 1998 national championship hat. It is a child size, but it still slaps. It's still great, and it's held up over 26 years almost. I guess 25 years technically since they won the championship in 98 in January of 1999. So I will take my victory lap all day long. The Vols, national champions again in men's college athletics. And Jack, we're coming after your sport, man. We're going back to back and equally bandy next season. Just get ready for it. Get ready for the hate to flow, Jack Gentry.
I'm just glad Tennessee fans finally admit that college baseball titles mean something. So it's a win for everybody. The sport, by the way, is growing so quickly and it's so fun. It was really actually a really entertaining tournament once everybody got to Omaha. So it was a fun thing to watch. But I'm sure all these Vol fans that have been college baseball fans for a couple years are definitely out and about celebrating, as they should.
Hey, it doesn't matter what sport. When your school wins a national championship, you celebrate it. Trevor says nobody watches college baseball. Then go look at the streets of Knoxville.
That's changing quickly.
Yeah. Yes. Go look at the streets of Knoxville downtown from yesterday about that. And the streets of Knoxville rocking. And then Just Smash says, Austin, the chat wants to know, did you get a bad haircut? No, I did get a haircut on Friday, but the haircut's fine. Now I have hat hair, but the haircut is fine. So, no, I'm rocking the Vols right there. National champions in men's sports for the first time since 1998.
How about what's gone on in College Station in the last 48 hours? I mean, they're reporting that Schlossnagle has been had agreed to that Georgia job Texas job ever since the Georgia series in SEC play. I mean, what a stab in the back for Aggies fans. If there are any Aggies fans in here, man, I feel for you guys. That is brutal.
Today is not a throw-in shade day. I have lots of shade to throw at Schlossnagle for how poorly he's treated and left that job. So basically, just before we get to the Titan stuff here, Jim Schlossnagle was the head coach at Texas A&M for the last 3 years. He destroyed a reporter in the press conference who asked him about a specific job opening. He said it was a selfish question to ask, that he's not looking at any other jobs. And then this next day takes the job at Texas. He owes that reporter an apology from TexAgs.com for how he went after him. And he also looks as sleazy as you could possibly get. Look, I have no problem with anybody taking a job professionally for way more money that's going to provide for their family to a different level, because that's what's happening with Schlossnagle going from A&M to Texas. But it's about how you leave. How you leave is important, and Schlossnagle is not leaving very well. He also went and greeted and talked with fans hours before he took it was announced that he took the Texas job in College Station. And then the 12th man player on the team, that their jersey number 12 gets hand selected by a specific player at A&M every year. That guy, nobody knew. So that guy just means or looks very sleazy to me. So I would not trust Jim Schlossnagle. He also did the same thing 3 years ago when he left TCU for Texas A&M, saying that he was not looking at any other jobs and he was going to be at TCU. So look, coaches lie, but this guy tripled down on doing it in the worst way possible.
I mean, it was some college football stuff going on in the college baseball. There's a lot of drama over there. But, Billy Lucci has been all over the Schlossnagle. Look, he's one of the best coaches in college baseball, but absolute nightmare for A&M fans down there. Gosh, losing a national title and your head coach within 24 hours. Brutal.
Yes, it is absolutely brutal. All right, Jack, to the topic at hand, because we've known this is not exactly new information, but Will Levis took a group of Titans skill players to Cabo San Lucas for a weekend retreat of football and fun for the second-year quarterback, first year as a starter. He talked about this on 3HL when he was in studio. I guess that was last week. It feels like a lot has happened since last Thursday when Will Levis was in studio with 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. But Levis talked about getting set up with a football field where they can go work when they were getting set up with a day out on the boats in the ocean, and also a day of golf for Will Levis and crew. And so the one thing that was interesting is that we didn't exactly know who Will Levis was bringing on this retreat. We knew it was 5 players, Will Levis plus 5, but we weren't exactly sure on who the 5 guys were. But we did learn that it was 5 guys that we all kind of know the names of, right? So let's take a video look at the Instagram story of Will Levis and these guys down there getting work in Cabo.
I'm so geeky. Hey.
I put triple D on my back and my foot on the pedal. I'm chasing Shabbat and the cheddar. I really am.
Today I did good. I ain't just talking, I'm doing it.
So right there in order, Calvin Ridley, Chigakonkwo, Josh Whyle, Tajay Spears, and DeAndre Hopkins. So those are the 5 that Will Levis takes to Cabo with him. Jack, how do you feel about the crew down there?
I love the crew down there. I mean, these are the guys you're going to be relying on the most next season. And man, the backdrop, I'm super jealous of that crew getting to go down there. Just the way the sky looks is amazing. But no, look, they don't have to be working right now. And they certainly don't have to be spending time together either. But
right.
The fact that they're doing both, the fact that they're taking this seriously, I feel like they know that they need to start the season, kind of hot. They're like that game in Chicago is so big. And every second spent together, it's going to hopefully pay dividends once the regular season comes around. I've got the sirens going off behind me, but getting D-Hop out there, Ridley, Tajay Spears. I love that both tight ends are there. I'm surprised that both tight ends were there, but no, I really like this crew Levis took out to Cabo.
So obviously a big missing name from the group in Cabo with Will Levis is former first-round pick going into his 3rd year, Treylon Burks. So Treylon Burks is not there, which immediately, whenever something happens or doesn't happen with Treylon Burks, there are fans that jump on him, all over him. And I'm just going to point out Amar. This is not personal, Amar, but it says Treylon wasn't worthy. Well, Treylon Burks not there. I know this because he is and was celebrating his wedding anniversary yesterday with his very pregnant wife. So Treylon Burks did not go to Cabo San Lucas because his wife is very pregnant, and I don't know when the due date is. That is not my business, but I do see what they post on Instagram, and it could be like right around the corner. And so I look, Treylon Burks not there because of his very pregnant wife, and Jack, you add also NWI not there because his wife just had a baby like maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. Because NWI did miss a mandatory minicamp practice because of the birth of his child. So there are 2 veteran names not at Will Levis's Cabo crew retreat. So I think everybody in Titans fandom should be giving Treylon Burks a pass for not being there for Will Levis's retreat. Is that okay with everybody?
Oh, totally. I mean,
okay with everybody?
Like you can't sound the alarms because Treylon Burks is, with his now is not the time for Treylon Burks to go to Cabo, right? I think that anybody that's married or anybody that's had a kid would all agree that really was never an option for Treylon Burks to go to Cabo with the situation that he has going on. But yeah, NWI not being there, neither of those are big deals to me. Honestly, I mean, even if DeAndre Hopkins or Calvin Ridley or one of these guys that is there wasn't there, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, this is just kind of a fun escape for these guys as they kind of try and keep their rapport going, keep that momentum going from mini camp and hit the ground running in training camp to where, the chemistry's already there. The timing's already there. They can now learn Callahan's system. So look, it's just getting a head start on training camp. And I think it's a great move for everybody to show up down there. It's hard to get perfect attendance though. I mean, we learned this just getting older, trying to go on trips with our friends. Like, it's hard to get everybody on the same page.
Oh, the trip. It's so difficult to get like 8 people together within the company of A to Z Sports, like for a Zoom call, like let alone a trip. It's hard to get people together because of all the different schedules that conflict and everybody's got stuff going on. So yeah, I think, for sure. I'm with you on that point.
But you got the young guys, you got D-Hop and Ridley, and then you got the young guys and Spears, Levis, Whyle and Chig. I think it's a great mix, and hopefully, these guys get something out of this, and I think they will. If I was in Cabo, I sure as hell wouldn't be throwing footballs on the football field. But it's good that these guys are kind of, working hard and playing hard down there. So yeah, I love it. I love to see it.
Amar comes back, says, "Okay, good excuse." Now Corey with the joke off the bottom of the fruit tree. They weren't doing special teams drills there anyway. Now, I will say, Corey, that is very good comedy. That is very good comedy right there. Hilarious in its own right. It reminds me of Will Compton just doing punt coverage drop steps every chance he gets on video. So couple people have brought up an interesting thing. There are a couple others that are not there. And I think one guy that would surprise a lot who is there. So we'll discuss who's not there. And then my biggest surprise of who made the cut to go down to Cabo San Lucas with Will Levis's crew. But first, going to tell you guys all about our great friends at Farm Bureau Health Plans. That's where you should go to get your best coverage possible when it comes to health, dental, and vision. They've been serving Tennesseans for over 77 years. A lot has changed over that time across the state, but Farm Bureau Health Plans has continued to get better and better every generation, every decade along the way, and making it right and better for you. So if you want to save money to get the best plan possible, you can do both of those things. A cheaper rate for better coverage with Farm Bureau Health Plans. You can hear them on Titans Radio with their deals with Coach Mack and Mike Keith. If you're a Vol like me, you hear them on the Vol Network all the time as corporate partners of the Tennessee Volunteers as well. And they support everything down to every community across the entire state. So go check them out and get a quote with our link. That's fbhp.com/ATOZ.
BetMGM.com, the king of sportsbooks. Guys, if you're looking for a sportsbook, if you're looking to make a switch, when you sign up with BetMGM, I encourage you to use our bonus code A to Z Sports. It's going to help you out. It's actually going to give you up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. So if you're looking to get some skin in the game, if you want to put a little money down on the Euro Cup, Copa America, the MLB, whatever it is that you're interested in, NFL futures, they've got it all at BetMGM, and it's all so easy to access. Download the app and use our bonus code A to Z Sports.
All right, so Jack, we're talking here about the Cabo crew from Will Levis. He brought 5 skilled players down there with him and his teammates, and DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, wide receiver 1A, wide receiver 1B, however direction you want to go, a co-starting running back, in my opinion, in Tajay Spears, and then both tight ends, Chika Okonkwo and second-year tight end Josh Whyle. So, Jack, I think Josh Whyle is probably the most surprising take for people outside of the Titan circles. But, Jack, I think Josh Whyle might be some of the best stock that you could buy in Titans offensive players, because it's probably going to be one of the cheapest stocks that you can buy in offensive players on the team. Levis is a quarterback. He's high up there, right? When you talk about the other receivers of Hopkins and Ridley plus Tajay, what he did as a rookie. But Josh Whyle, and I know they talked about him quite a bit yesterday with Sam and Jack. Jack and Zach.
It's my breakout player.
Yes, your breakout player. I think he's a breakout player for the Tennessee Titans as well, because he and Will Levis have become boys. They golf together all the time. They obviously are getting that chemistry on the field. So I think Josh Whyle is one of the better stocks that you could buy from the Tennessee Titans from the offensive standpoint.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And, his role in this offense, I talked about it yesterday. Like, he took 23% of the snaps on offense last year. I expect that to double. I really think they're going to be able to use him in situations where they're not going to, be tipping their hand, whether it's a run or a pass, based on which tight end is out there. I think that he's going to be dangerous in the red zone. The mismatch problems that we've heard Nick Holtz and Brian Callahan already spend time on. I really do think that he's just got such a unique skill set that, team defenses aren't really planning around defending 6'7" dudes. So Wiley's absolutely going to be a factor this season. And you kind of see it like building with Will Levis, right? Not even just on the field. Like, they golf all the time together. They're doing essentially everything together. It feels like they're best friends. So I'm also buying the Whyle stock now. I'm buying low on Whyle. 9 catches last year, 94 yards and a touchdown. I was saying, I think 5-6 touchdowns is absolutely within reach. I mean, they've got plenty of dudes who can get it done between the 20s, but Whyle in the red zone is going to be a different beast, kind of like a Cole Kmet type. I think that, that's kind of what his ceiling could look like. So I'm excited about Whyle.
You should be. And so I think with Whyle, Levis was asked about him last month, I guess, when they were in minicamp. I guess it was early this month. It feels like it's been a long time since mandatory minicamp. But Levis called him a juice guy. And I think you see other social media posts of how Whyle and Chig have such a good bond that's building, doing these Step Brothers DVD cover poster picture together of Chig and Whyle being the two tight ends on this team. I think Josh Whyle looks like he could be a breakout candidate without a doubt. I want to go to this graphic that Sam and Zach used yesterday on the show. This coming from, did Sam write this article on A to Z? I've been like 2 days and I feel like I don't know what happened. But he says he's had a great offseason. I'll start with that. Nick Holt said of Whyle, who set the school record for touchdowns with Cincinnati at 15. Really good ball skills for a big guy. So that kind of target, especially in the red zone and on third down, things like that. He's more of a matchup problem than he is probably given credit for. So we love him to get into some of those one-on-one situations because he has so much height and really good ball skills. And on top of just building this relationship with Will Levis. So I like Josh Whyle quite a bit. So it might be like a surprise. Oh, the second-year tight end, Josh Whyle, is down there with Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Chig Okonkwo, who's the starting tight end, and then Tajay Spears, right? So not a surprise. And then I think the two other guys that might be down there that aren't about to have a baby or didn't just have a baby with Treylon Burks and NWI doing family things, no Tyler Boyd and no Tony Pollard. So two of the other bigger free agent addition veteran guys that are not there. Again, I don't know why Tony Pollard and Tyler Boyd aren't there, but they aren't. So maybe that those guys had something else, a conflict with family because of other deals they might have. Tyler Boyd was obviously a late add in free agency, so maybe he has already something scheduled during this time. So, Jack, is it that big of a deal that Boyd and Pollard aren't there?
Tough question for me because I think, and I feel like every Titans fan has an answer to this. Like, which absence is more problematic, or which one, which one of those two players would you have preferred to see down there? And I think my answer is honestly Tony Pollard. I like Tyler Boyd's great, and like the addition is fine, but at the end of the day, most of his work is probably going to get done against zone defense, and Tony Pollard's usage rate, I believe, is going to be a whole lot higher than Tyler Boyd. So like, I would have preferred to see Tony Pollard down there with Tajay Spears because, the chemistry with Levis, they're still working on some things there. Like Boyd's experience in Callahan's offense, I think is going to be great. And also Boyd's age, he's done it all because he's seen it all. So like, I'm not super worried about him missing. Mainly, and another one is just his role within the offense is going to be a lot less significant than Tony Pollard. So I'd love to see Tony Pollard down there. I think that his absence is the most glaring to me. Again, I don't have a problem with these people not being there because I'm sure they've got different things going on in their lives, but like, would I have loved to see Tony Pollard there? Of course.
For sure. And like, by no means am I trying to make this a thing of like, oh my gosh,
Not
controversy.
stressing.
No controversy saying that oh my gosh, Levis doesn't like these guys because they're not in Cabo with him. No, that is not at all what's happening. So I think it's obviously, Danny says it's not a big deal. I agree. I would have liked to see Boyd down there and Pollard, but like if I'm picking between the two, then I think Boyd being down there is maybe more important because I think it's more important of a wide receiver group to have more chemistry with Ridley and with D-Hop, right? Because these three guys are all newish to each other. Now, I know D-Hop has worked out with Ridley last offseason in Arizona when Ridley had just joined the Jags, and it might have been before D-Hop was cut by the Cardinals. Maybe it was after that, and he was still a free agent. But, they're still new teammates with one another, and you've got to be on the same page as a wide receiver unit rather than just a wide receivers and quarterback. So if I would have picked one guy to be down there who wasn't, then I definitely think it would have been more beneficial for Boyd to be there. But again, not a big deal, not making this a controversy. And I agree with Corey. Levis just doing this is the important part. And other people bring it up like Will Levis is not a rich quarterback yet. He's got a second round contract. It's not like this guy has all of the money in the world to bring these NFL guys to a resort in Cabo San Lucas and take them out on boats and get golf tee times and rent out these football facilities that they have there in Cabo for training sessions like this. I think it's a big deal that Will Levis is doing this overall. He talked on 3HL saying that he's watched Tom Brady bring guys to the Dude Ranch in Wyoming or Montana or wherever the hell they went. All these other guys, I can't remember who else he pointed out, but guys doing these retreats is a big deal, I think, for sure. And Burning Devil asked, did Tannehill ever do this? I don't know if Tannehill ever took guys on a retreat like this, but I do know that Ryan Tannehill had guys down in Florida and they threw where Tannehill lived in the offseason. So Ryan Tannehill did work outside of the Titans facility with teammates. So, but, did Ryan Tannehill bring guys out to a retreat like this? Not to my knowledge, but Tannehill did things getting the same type of football work done. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of players around this period, are kind of just around the league, not just with the Titans, are doing some of the same stuff. But yeah, look, it's another step for Will Levis to become a leader. I don't know that he should be footing the bill for this trip, by the way, with how much his receivers are making, especially Calvin Ridley. But look, hey, you know what? Calvin Ridley's first year, you got to treat him right.
But I think if I were Ridley and D-Hop, I would say, look, man, here's my money. You can do it. You plan it though. Like, I don't want any part in logistical planning. And if I were Levis, I'd say, hey guys, I'll plan it. I'll do all the logistics. If you can just throw me a little bit of cash, I'll organize it all. All you gotta do is show up. Like, I would make those 5 guys travel princesses together. And if I were Levis, I'd do all of the work. So all they gotta do is show up. I bring the footballs. I'm the communicator with everything. And and then they just toss some cash. That's what I feel like.
Will Levis booking the Airbnb. Could you imagine renting out an Airbnb and Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley's name are on the itinerary? But yeah, look, really cool that Levis is doing this. Obviously, I think Titans fans can see the leader that's inside of him. It's going to take a couple of years for him to gain the respect on the field. But I think that these guys are already they think highly of Levis off of it. And I think DeAndre Hopkins has had a lot to do with that and kind of molding Will Levis into be a leader because, Diop's been around for a while. And I think that they have similar traits in their competitiveness and, just fiery mentalities on the field, like kill everything mentalities, that Mamba mentality almost. So yeah, look, I think it's good. I think it's great. I think it's fun. And, but I'm not super worried about the guys that aren't down there. So that's kind of how I feel about the Cabo trip.
For sure. Super chat. King VC comes in and says, lock in and like the show. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I got Facebook and YouTube likes pouring in, so we need more likes on the show. That goes a long way for us. Appreciate King VC for doing that. All right. The Titans could maybe have some interest in a former Pro Bowler at a position of need. We'll discuss that player here in a second. But first, I want to tell everybody about the Bone and Joint Institute. boneandjointtn.org. They are the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Jack, I've been talking about it for all this entire month. I did start my physical therapy on my patella tendonitis in my knee, and talking to my guy Micah over there in Brentwood at the Bone and Joint Institute. He has allowed me. He says, you can start doing some of these things. Start doing squats. Start doing some lunges. Just feel it out better. You're getting stronger. It's working. It's chilling out a little bit because I've been to just 6 sessions. That's it. Just 6 sessions of physical therapy in the last 4 weeks, and it's already helped improve my patella tendonitis in my left knee, so I can get back to doing some of these things. Did a bunch of yard work the last couple of days. Knee's holding up good, where that would have been screaming at me if I did not do all of this physical therapy. So the Bone and Joint Institute has you covered in Franklin, where their main campus is. They also have clinics and physical therapy centers across Williamson County, and they're growing. So book an appointment. Don't fumble on that recovery. Whatever that injury may be, they've got you covered. boneandjointtn.org.
BetMGM.com. Guys, live betting options, parlay selection features, boosted odds specials. All of these things you can find at BetMGM. And if you're a new user, sign up, download the app, and use our bonus code when you do it. A to Z Sports. It gets you up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. Player props for the NFL, college football season win totals, national championship bets, all of this stuff all over BetMGM. And it's so easy to find. So go check them out. And when you download the app, make sure you use our code A to Z Sports to get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses.
Visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only, new customer offer. All promotions subject to qualification and eligible requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issued as eligible bonus bets that expire in 7 days. And for a problem game of sport, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. So Jack, you sent this into our chat yesterday. Shaq Leonard, the Titans could be, right?
Oh yeah,
Shaq Leonard could be a fit for the Titans here.
Mm-hmm. Shaq Leonard, former Colts linebacker. Everybody knows who he is. He changed his name after Derrick Henry stiff-armed him into oblivion. But Shaq Leonard, 3-time All-Pro. And Justin Mello at the Draft Network, Uncle Justin Mello to Tighten Up podcast listeners, he released a story yesterday that featured 3 teams in on or 3 possible landing spots for Shaquille Leonard, and the Titans were one of them. The Titans were listed with the Bears. They were listed with the Rams. And you can kind of see some of the blurbs here that Melo's talking about. He says the Titans arguably have the most unproven group of linebackers in the NFL. Isn't that the truth? The team leader in 2023 tackles, Azeez Al-Shaair, departed in free agency. He was replaced by former first-round bust Kenneth Murray, who is a reclamation project. More concerning, he's also Tennessee's number 1 linebacker. New DC Denard Wilson has his work cut out for him. Melo goes on to say that Murray will be flanked by either Jack Gibbons, Cedric Gray, the 4th-round rookie, or Otis Reese. If you're keeping score, that's either a 3rd-year UDFA, rookie 4th-rounder, or 2nd-year UDFA. The organization is familiar with Leonard, who routinely tormented them as a member of the Colts. Furthermore, new Titans defensive line coach Tracy Rocker was with Leonard in Philadelphia last season. That's the connection right there, Austin. And Shaquille Leonard, we can go over some of the stuff, because first 4 years in the NFL, 3-time first team All-Pro. The only other season, the season that I left out, he was a 2nd-team All-Pro. Defensive Rookie of the Year. But all of that kind of vanished when his back injuries popped up. This dude had 2 back surgeries with disc issues within 5 months of each other in 2022. So he's kind of lost a step, but he is still just 28 years old. So he spent some time with the Colts last season. They waived him. He goes to Philadelphia. He records 88 tackles on the season and kind of his, get his feet wet again year. But the fact that he was out there, I think is interesting. And Melo mentioned it, man. The Titans behind Kenneth Murray and Jack Gibbons. I mean, even Jack Gibbons, they're in a whole lot there. So I think that Shaquille Leonard, it might be worth kicking the tires on this guy, Austin. Even if he's half of the player he was, and I wrote this in my story, even if he's half of the player that he once was, that might be good enough to make the Titans 53-man roster. Seriously, the linebacker room, Rand Carthon had a ton of holes to fill this offseason. And we all, we've had shows early on, in March that said, he can't do it all in one offseason. He's going to be able to patch up some holes, but there's still going to be some cracks within this roster. Linebacker's a crack that might have to get filled next season. But can you find a veteran? Can you get production out of a guy like Shaquille Leonard, who you could bring in on a vet minimum deal to contribute for you? I think it's a really interesting discussion.
Yeah, so 88 tackles total, split between 9 games with the Colts and then 5 with the Eagles. And he played, I believe, the last 5 games with the Eagles and did miss a game when joining the Eagles. So his last game with the Colts was November 12th. Then he was a month of no games before playing the last 5 throughout December and week 18 in January with the Eagles. So I think it's interesting that Shaq Leonard, 88 tackles. Where would that rank, Jack, on Titans players in the leading tacklers returning from last year?
Oh, returning tackler. Oh, my God.
Returning tacklers from a year ago.
2nd?
Behind who?
I don't know. I was thinking Monty Hooker, but I don't know. Who? What's?
I'm trying to pull it up. I'm just trying to think of who the leading returning tacklers from a year ago for the Titans. People say, oh, well, Jeffrey Simmons is the best guy on the defense. Yeah, but he's not racking up a bunch of tackles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking Monty Hooker would be my guess. I don't know anything for sure. Chat
Come
knows that I
on.
don't know anything.
I mean, my ESPN.com could not be moving slower as I'm trying to find this in live time. This is miserable. ESPN.com are just killing me. Oh my God. Come on. I'm finally getting the Titans stat page to
All right,
partially.
I've got it.
Ugh,
I've got it up.
it hurts so bad.
So I have no problem bailing you out. Jack Gibbons, 95 tackles last year. McCreary, 86. Amani Hooker, 85. So those are your three leaders. So I mean, Shaq Leonard, Shaquille Leonard, Darius Leonard, whatever you want to call him, 88 tackles. That would be second amongst the Titans returners on defense.
Yeah. So
Does that
it's
change
not
your
the,
mind?
It's not the worst thing you could do. It's not the worst thing you could do. So let's ask this question. Just kind of throw this out there even more specifically. How much interest should the Titans have in linebacker Shaq Leonard on a 1 through 10 scale? How much interest should the Titans have in Shaq Leonard on a 1 through 10 scale? Because as the comments roll in, I'm just going to bring up Justin Mello's blurb here from the Draft Network. Murray, failed first-round draft pick as bust, right? As Mello said there, would be with a third-year UDFA, a rookie fourth-rounder, or a second-year UDFA. I mean, I think it's the most compelling way you could say the Titans need Shaq Leonard, right? So, Jack, I'll send you to the chat as comments are rolling in. On a scale of 1 through 10, how much interest should the Titans have in free agent linebacker Shaq Leonard?
Hoshi's at a 1. He's out on Shaq Leonard. Orlando's 4. Pistols at a 3. We got a 4.5, a 6. Luman gives us the legal limit at 0.08. 10 from Jared, 4 from Steve Jones, 5 from Mike Snyder. We got now a 3 because of the injury from Pistol Ramsey. 6.5, 0. Ed Rogers is all in, though. He's at an 11. Corey's on the fence, 5. Shaq's hurt a lot, but healthy, he would definitely help. You don't know what you're getting. 0 interest. We've got continuing to scroll here because there were a lot of guesses on the tacklers. 5.5, 7, 5 from Danny Whitson. Trevor's at a 7. Rashid 6.5. We got a 5 from Octavius. 7.5, 6. Mario's at a 9. Stephen King pro score 4, 5, 8, 7. Darius 7. Billy Jones 7.5. Brandon's in on it. 9. 7 from Caleb. Can't hurt. 6 from Yuri. He's into it. Bumping the interest up to a 7. Okay, we got you, Darren. Top tier's right there with you. Luman says 1. 6.5 from Christian Smith. Roger Wilson's at an 8. 5. Take if a great deal. I'm going to stop it here.
Okay.
Because it's important to note this.
Hold on real quick. Because Troy says, you guys below 6 are crazy. So Troy's a proponent for this.
I agree with Troy. I do. And the reason why is because when the Colts waived him last year, the Eagles were able to sign him for a 1-year deal for $1.5 million. Now, I think the most you would have to pay for Shaq Leonard would probably be in that like $2.5, $3 million range, right? Because he's not commanding the same money. The back injuries are significant and they're scary. But if you can get a positive report, if Rand Carthon goes down to Tracy Rocker's office, or maybe vice versa, because that's probably how that thing would work. When Rand Carthon calls Tracy Rocker up to his office, and Tracy Rocker says, you know what? I mean, he looked pretty good. You know, there's still some things he was working out, but he learned the system on a fly. And there's a new system here in Tennessee that maybe he could be pivotal in helping teach some of the younger guys. Cedric Gray, maybe a mentor there. But if the report from Rocker checks out, if he liked what he saw in Philadelphia and you bring Shaq Leonard in and he passes the physical, I think you absolutely do this. I'm terrified at the depth at linebacker. If either Kenneth Murray and Jack Gibbons goes down this season, the Titans are in big time trouble, and they're probably in big time trouble with both of them healthy, Austin. Like 28-year-old Shaquille Leonard, there is a risk reward there. But I think on a low cost deal with a high ceiling guy, I think the reward far outweighs the potential risk of bringing Shaquille Leonard on. Even if he's a depth piece, even if he's a backup, like your roster gets better with Shaquille Leonard. And him playing 14 games last year, that put some of my concerns to bed. Obviously, he wasn't the all-pro caliber player that he once was. But I mean, even if he's a bottom 10 starter in the NFL, that's better. That's probably better than what you got with Jack Gibbons. I'm all in on the Shaq Leonard. At least bring him in. At least talk to him. I want to see the Titans show interest in Shaquille Leonard. So, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, Austin, I think I'm at a 7.5. I want this to happen.
7.5. You want it to happen.
Mm-hmm. And now's the perfect time because Derrick Henry's gone, so you don't have to worry about getting stiff armed in practice.
Yeah, and the Ravens aren't on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So my answer is the opposite. I would rather this not happen. So I'm going to take your 7 and I'm going to put a 3 on it so we just can both add up to a 10. I am a 3 out of 10 interest level in the Titans potentially bringing in Shaq Leonard. For what? I think how much better is Shaq Leonard going to be than what Cedric Gray needs to be, right? I think if you bring in Shaq Leonard, then you're stunting Cedric Gray. You drafted Cedric Gray at the top of the 3rd day of the draft to be your interior guy. He is a versatile piece. He's a leader. He was a captain at North Carolina for multiple years. Do not stunt that man's growth. Continue to put that fire hose in Cedric Gray's mouth. Do not put Shaq Leonard on the same water horse as Cedric Gray and let the hose split holes and then go up to both. Everybody remembers the water horse that you drank out of in high school. Remember, you just put the PVC pipe, put the garden hose up on it. You got 8 different spouts. I want Cedric Gray to have all of that water hose. So don't stunt his growth. There's no difference in Shaq Leonard right now. Yeah, I think it's impressive that he was able to play in 14 games last year after only being able to play in 3 the year before. It's not a bad thing. I just don't think this is a move the Titans should make. Somebody said it earlier in the chat. I think they should continue their focus on free safety. You need a free safety way more than you need another inside linebacker because you drafted an inside linebacker. You know who you didn't draft? A free safety.
Jack Gibbons, drafted Otis Reese. You didn't draft those guys.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about this year. You signed Kenneth Murray Jr., who you signed him to starting money for Kenneth Murray. So he's got to start. And then you drafted Cedric Gray in the 4th round. How many Titans starting linebackers have they found on day 3 of the draft of recent memory?
David Long.
There's 2 others. Yes, they replaced each other. Avery Williamson, 5th round in Kentucky. Replaced by Jayon Brown, 5th round, UCLA. Replaced by David Long, 6th round from West Virginia. So keep on doing that. I don't think they need to do this. I think Cedric Gray needs to play, and you have Jack Gibbons as your insurance.
But is that a recipe for sustained success? Finding starting linebackers on day 3 of the draft. I get it. It's worked out for them.
Yes, they just did it 3 times in a row. Avery Williamson to Jayon Brown to David Long. You could argue that all 3 of those got better, good, better, best in Williamson, Jayon, and David Long, right?
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. It's worked out for him. I just wonder if that's, a stable method. And I don't think you're stunting Cedric Gray's growth if you bring in Shaq Leonard on a 1-year deal. Because Cedric Gray, right now, Jack Gibbons is the leader in the clubhouse to start at that spot anyways. So, and I just think that the roster is better with Shaquille Leonard on it. And everybody talking about it, because I see the comments. But better. And I think they've clearly prioritized veterans. And you're getting a veteran that's highly decorated in Shaquille Leonard if you go get him. But everybody in the chat, there's a bunch of people that focus on Justin Simmons. I get it. Justin Simmons should absolutely be priority number 1. And behind him, maybe an edge rusher Carl Lawson. We talked about Yannick Ngakoue on here before. But those 2 things I do believe you should prioritize.
You can do both. You can do Justin Simmons and Shaq Leonard financially.
You could do all 3. Austin, you could do all 3. You have $24 million in salary cap space right now. And out of Justin Simmons, the guys you're signing at this point in free agency, they're not going to cost a whole heck of a lot. And Shaquille Leonard might cost the veteran minimum. I don't think it's directly hindering Cedric Gray from becoming the player that he will. Out of those linebackers that have worked for the Titans, how many of them were good in year 1? How many were even good in year 2?
Avery was good in year 1. No,
It took Jalen
Avery
Brown
and
and David Long a little while.
No, it took David Long. It took David Long until the playoffs his rookie year to make an impact. Remember, he had a couple really nice plays against both New England in that wild card round win and against Baltimore in the next game because Jayon got hurt. So David Long
Long was
Jr.
great
had
in the Baltimore game.
Yeah, he kind of broke out in the playoffs of his rookie year. Jayon broke out in his rookie year, made some plays. Avery Williamson was also, I'm pretty sure he was a day one starter as a fifth round rookie out of Kentucky. I believe he had Wesley Woodyard next to him, or I can't remember if those two guys overlapped or not. But they came out of the gate starting pretty quickly, and maybe not starting, but having an impact on the defense fairly quickly. So
they were they were both thrust into big roles early on. But is that even going to be the case for Cedric Gray? Like, is he going to start the season as the backup? Is he going to, when week 10 rolls around, who's going to be out there? Is it going to be Cedric Gray or Jack Gibbons? Like, Gibbons could take a step this year, and then Cedric Gray could just be a little bit forgotten about. I just don't think it hurts.
Hey, I'll say this: if I'll take something out of the Texas A&M fan base, if Cedric Gray is forgotten about this year because Jack Gibbons steps up, good.
Sure,
I think it is good.
But I still don't think that like Jack Gibbons has the makeup to be a top half of the league starter. And Shaquille Leonard once was the best middle linebacker in the NFL, and this was just 3 years ago. I get the back surgeries happen, but he did play 14 games, and MB says, he can't stay healthy. That's why he's not on a roster. That's exactly right. But you're also, these injury issues that were 2 years ago. Remember, he did play 14 games last year, so he put some of those concerns to bed. That's also what's making him so cheap and affordable. That's the only reason why it's a conversation that the Titans are in the mix for this dude, right? Is because of the injury issues. So it's a risk. It's absolutely a risk, but I don't think it's a big one because of his price tag.
I'm going to go to Shrike. Shrike says he's not signing to be linebacker 4. You also can't have linebacker 4 not playing special teams. Shaq isn't coming here. I agree. I'm with you, Eldon. Like, I think the only way that Shaq Leonard is a Titan is if there is a training camp or preseason injury at the inside linebacker position, which could absolutely happen.
And that's the thing. Maybe Shaq Leonard doesn't even sign till the regular season until somebody goes down. But okay, let me ask you this. Let's phrase it. Let's play a dangerous hypothetical here. If either Cedric Gray or Jack Gibbons picks up a bump or a bruise,
or Murray,
or Murray, yeah. Do you then bring in Shaquille Leonard?
Yeah, I mean, if it's significant, yeah.
Okay, so an injury away from bringing him in. If the Titans are in that position, I don't see why you don't go out and grab him and let him compete, because look, he's gonna have to learn this new system like everybody else. He's already better than Otis Reese, most likely. I mean, unless Otis Reese has turned into Superman this offseason.
No, there's also James Williams, who I'm intrigued by at the 7th round pick, safety at Miami, linebacker of the Titans.
You can't bank on him.
No, but I think he is a. I would rather have James Williams or Otis Reese as a non-starter on a game day roster than Shaq Leonard as a non-starter on a game day roster.
I just think the Titans get a lot better with Shaquille Leonard. Maybe not a lot, but I do think they get a little bit better. And right now you're in a position to where you've got to upgrade that linebacker room. It's the worst in the NFL. Like, Mike Clay has the Titans linebackers ranked 32nd in the NFL. This is the same guy who the Titans offensive line ranked 9th. Titans linebackers 32nd. You can stand to get a whole lot better. And the depth is really not there. And Jaron says, I'm all over Reese. Look, Reese is an Ole Miss guy. I'm a big supporter of Otis Reese. He's
also another safety moving to linebacker. He's
just unproven.
Andre's like, you'd rather have a safety learning linebacker? Like, you didn't listen to what I said, Andre. I would rather have Otis Reese or James Williams as a non-starter on a game day roster than Shaq Leonard as a non-starter on a game day roster. Does that make sense, Andre? Like, I don't think Shaq Leonard would come in and immediately be a starting inside linebacker. I think Cedric Gray and Kenneth Murray Jr. are your two starting linebackers week 1 in Chicago. And so there's no point of having Shaq Leonard if Cedric Gray wins that starting job.
Yeah, that's the thing, if he wins it. But if he doesn't win it and you don't like what you see in training camp.
I think he's going to.
I think it's a conversation.
I think Cedric Gray is going to win the job. I think Jack Gibbons is going to be on the roster as your third guy. I think that
would be best case
confident.
scenario for me. That would be best case scenario because
in that scenario, you do not need Shaq Leonard. So signing Shaq Leonard is going to potentially would, in my opinion, stunt the growth and ability of Cedric Gray to win the starting job.
I guess I'm more kind of my point is more based on Cedric Gray not stepping up and not, being a quality starter, or maybe they don't. Maybe he just flames out, to start. Like, I mean, this is a 4th round pick we're talking about. Like, these guys are not guaranteed hits, even with the Titans' success in drafting inside linebacker. So I just think you get better. And the point in the offseason is to improve your roster. Rand Carthon's done a great job of that. And he's shown that he's not afraid to go get dudes who have spent time elsewhere. Some dudes with injury questions. L'Jarius Sneed. Tyler Boyd's older. Calvin Ridley. He's missed some time with different things. DeAndre Hopkins, when the Titans brought him in, was coming off some significant injuries. Awuzie, just 2 years removed from a significant injury there. Same with Tony Pollard. So the injury stuff, I don't think it scares Rand Carthon. And I think that this is a conversation, though, within the building. I think they should have this conversation.
Jay says, then pay Shaq Leonard to be a backup. No, that's the point, is that Shaq Leonard would be inactive. If Cedric Gray wins the job next to Kenneth Murray, then Shaq Leonard is most likely inactive on game day because he's not playing special teams. Because you're going to get somebody like James Williams or Otis Reese to go play punt team to cover kicks. Like, Shaq Leonard's not playing kickoff team. Like, you're not doing that. That's just not, he's never had to. So, like, that's where I would rather have the younger, athletic, more juiced up bodies that can go down there and chase kicks.
Sure. Yeah. And guys on rookie contracts. Like, you don't want Shaquille Leonard off 2 back surgeries. Having to fly down there and bust somebody up on kickoff or on punt. Like, I get that point. I just don't see the harm in it. I mean, he's very cheap. A player of that caliber, very cheap. It's a conversation.
Okay. Fair to have the conversation. I just don't. I'm not about it. I'd rather Cedric Gray get all the reps. All right, Jack. Let's go ahead and get to our Wednesday sports trivia. We've got a new record with our rapid trivia to beat. Let's get it going. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see our friends in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com to save money on that new ride. Jack, are you ready for our trivia transition?
Let's do it.
Here we go. All right, Jack. Our time to beat is 3:36. Oh, that's a big zoom. 3:36 is what we've got. Let me check the chat, because how this works is we start with the NFL, and then I look at the chat and find out the next couple of categories so we can go fast. I think I can remember up to 3 categories. So from the chat. So NFL followed by, I got one from Danny. So NFL and then movies, then soccer, and waiting for one more, music. So NFL, movies, soccer, music. Okay. All right. NFL, movies, soccer, music. Jack, let's get it going with NFL.
All right, here we go. After losing 2 years of his career due to illness, Garrison Hurst returned and rushed for over 1,200 yards while playing for this NFC West team in 2001.
Niners. My guy.
Okay, music. Featuring artists like Frankie J and T-Pain. This rapper had hits in the 2000s with Suga Suga and Cyclone.
Oh, Cyclone. Who was a Cyclone?
It's not Hurricane
Who's
Chris.
the main guy on? Yeah, Hurricane Chris. No. It might be. Let's wait. Baby Bash. It says
Baby Bash.
Eric. Baby Bash. Baby Bash. Yes, let's go Baby Bash.
Got
All
it.
right. Movies.
We're on soccer. Before defeating England in the finals, Italy defeated this country in penalties during the 2020 Euro Championship semifinals.
No idea.
Yeah, we need a soccer guy bad.
Fast.
Italy
Come on.
Defeated this country. Europe.
This is Lucas says
Croatia?
Netherlands.
No, Croatia won it.
We're just getting
Uh,
like
Should we run Netherlands?
we've gotten 5 different countries.
God, that's just the worst.
Come on, who picked soccer? Was that Strike? Where is Spain? Spain. Strike says Spain and 3 exclamation points. All right,
Good.
so movies.
I go to TV. All right, who cares?
Okay.
Starring Willa Fitzgerald, a TV adaptation of the Scream franchise, debuted originally on what cable channel in 2015?
I have no idea.
Man, this is tough. Scream franchise. Feels like Stars. Feels like Stars, maybe. I don't know if that's
MTV. I have no idea.
I don't either.
Bryce,
Any
yeah,
answers on the chat?
MTV.
Okay, got it.
Okay, movies.
Farmer Fran, Vicky Valancourt, and Captain
Waterboy.
Insano. Yep.
It feels like 98.
Here we go.
Grocery.
Geography. All right.
Okay.
Keyword. The Blue Hen State, Delaware. All right. Grocery. Named after a famous green suit wearing fantasy character, this brand of peanut butter has been sold. That's Peter Pan.
Yep. All right. NBA.
Yeah, here we go. Lasting only 4 seasons, the Cavs drafted this forward out of UNLV, number 1 in the over. Okay. That's Anthony Bennett.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here we go. 40 seconds.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Come on, chat.
I know the outside
We're
of
at
this.
3:03. And
30
ticking.
seconds. We have 30 seconds. Come on, chat. You can catch up because I have no clue. Russell Crowe is definitely the outside. Yes, absolutely Russell Crowe.
Got one.
Oh.
All right, 3:21. Here we go.
I have no idea. Is that
3:33.
Brandy Chastain? Somebody says. Jay says Brandy Chastain. The Shark Tank lady?
Shark Tank lady.
Katie Couric?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know
not
how you
Kelly
spell Brandy. Okay, well, I have no idea how to spell Brandy, so we're gonna have to guess something else.
Are we out? Are we past our time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 4 minutes. Damn. Who's the Shark Tank lady? That's not her, is it? Melissa McCarthy. Some of you guys are terrible. Katie Couric.
Yeah, I think it is Katie Couric. Dang, we were on such a good pace too.
All right, did we double dip in? All right, type in Russell Crowe again. That's not Hillary Clinton, people. Like, come on. Like, some of you guys are awful with this. Like, or Jennifer Aniston.
I mean, I'm no good either, though. So
yeah, but it's not. I know who it's not. Who's Barbara from Shark Tank? What's her last name?
Barbara.
I don't know.
Barbara Corcoran.
I mean, you can try it. I don't know.
Missed
nope. Missed it. Damn it. We have no idea who it was.
Sucks.
Who was it? Who was it?
Does it say?
I don't know.
Says. Oh, wait. Here we go.
View correct answers.
View correct answers.
What?
Felicity Huffman.
Huffman? Who the hell was Felicity Huffman? Felicity Huffman.
Let's Google it. All right, here's Felicity Huffman. Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
Man, that was a really tough trivia round. I mean, some of those answers were really hard.
Brutal. Dumb.
What's our score?
We failed, right?
Yeah, I guess we did fail. We don't even get a score. Gosh, losers.
Losers.
Dang it.
Absolute Absolute losers. Well,
Tragic.
that sucks, but what are we going to do about it? Nothing, really. All right, well, that's it for today. We'll be back in better tomorrow on a Thursday, so make sure you hit that like button. We failed at trivia, but I think we had an overall good show. So hit that like button. That goes a long way for us on Facebook and on YouTube. Buck Rising live tonight for A to Z Sports Primetime. And Sam and I back tomorrow morning on a Thursday. Appreciate it as always.
Tighten up pod out now.